Hey everybody, this is Ahmed here, and happy Ramadan. Sorry that I haven't posted a video for so long. So I'm gonna do this unboxing. I actually received this quite recently. As you can see, it's the Sky Art of Final Fantasy by Yoshitaka Amano. He's the guy responsible for, I think, the first 6 Final Fantasy games, basically. Usually he does the logos as well. Cool guy, awesome art. I'm not a huge art aficionado, but at the same time I appreciate Amano, and I do love the Final Fantasy series. Just to be clear here, what I'm unboxing right now basically is it's the Slipcased edition, which has recently been released on Amazon.uk, but it's going to be released at Amazon.com at August 7. I'm not sure what the differences between the original and this edition, but it does provide proof. Basically, this weighs a ton, by the way. So you could see here, it says on text, previously available was only part of the sold out. So yeah, the previous edition is sold out, and it goes on eBay for like $600 or something. I have no idea why. I don't own the original edition, neither. I haven't seen what's inside the content, so everything's going to be new for me, basically. So this is the Slipcase edition. I'm assuming that it's a cheaper version. Cheaper in what way? I don't know, because it does weigh a ton. I don't know what they changed here. But obviously, people who do own the original edition will spot the differences, basically. I think from the name, yeah, Slipcase. The previous one wasn't Slipcase, and this one is. And unfortunately, shipping damaged the product here, but whatever. What can we do? I could see why, by the weight and by the quality of this art book, why this thing has been sold out, and it goes for $600. So this is like, Dark Horse Comics are the publishers here. This is like a paper. That's the back end. Okay, Slipcase from the name. Very high quality artwork, by the way. I'm not sure about the texture here, but it does. You could listen to the voice of the thing here, whatever it is. Okay. I suck at these unboxings, by the way. I haven't done a lot. Okay, so we see here 3 books, which is the Sky Part 1, the Sky Part 2, and the Sky Part 3. Yeah, each book covers a certain installments in the Final Fantasy series, and I guess book 3 covers games that Amano wasn't part of in terms of primary artwork, because I do know that Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 10 are by what's his name? Forgot the name of the director of Kingdom Hearts, Nomura, Mr. Nomura. Don't ask me to pronounce his first name, but yeah, he's the guy who did the artwork for Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 10. I'm not sure who does the artwork for 9, but maybe it's Amano. I'm not sure. You could correct me on that, Final Fantasy fans. So this is number 1 here, and the book is high quality, but again, unfortunately, the shipping damaged it here a bit. 1987 to 1990. That's part 1 to part 3, and it does go chronologically. Again, absolutely high quality, awesome. The pages are high quality as well. That's the Hero of Light. I'm gonna go through all of this. I'm gonna just skim and scan. Yeah, these are the enemies. I think that guy is one of the enemies in Final Fantasy. But it is high quality. This guy is awesome, man. He knows how to draw. Was there a dinosaur in Final Fantasy 1? I can't remember. These are one of the weird enemies. Yeah, this guy is very iconic, the Goblin. One of the first Final Fantasy enemies you meet, actually. I'm not sure if he did the city as well. No, the city was Nomura. I think he was the director, but I'm not sure if he's really responsible. Yeah, I think he's responsible for the artwork as well, because the city has his take on Terra from Final Fantasy 6, if I'm not mistaken. Awesome, man. That's awesome drawing. I'll try to showcase everything. There we go. Furion, that's the Final Fantasy 2 main character, I think, if I'm not mistaken. His name in Japan is Frionel. Frionel. I don't know how to pronounce that. Guy. That's a very simple name. That's Sid. Alright, these are all the... Ricard Highwind. I haven't played Final Fantasy 2 actually, but it's very interesting that this guy's called Ricard Highwind, and there's a Sid Highwind from Final Fantasy 7, so interesting name call here. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Final Fantasy 2 actually. It's one of the least favorite installments in general, with its level up system especially. It's ambitious, but yeah, that worm is iconic. That guy, I've seen him in Final Fantasy 6, so it. Really good artwork here. What else do we have here? The bomb, that's very recognizable, and the slime, these are recognizable characters, recurring in the Final Fantasy series. Yeah, I'm just skimming through quickly just to show you the quality of these artbooks, and as fast as possible. Final Fantasy 3. This is one game I didn't play as well. I want to play the remake actually. I like the things with the colors. Look at this. This is really cool. Very cool. Sarah Altney. Funny. Yeah, I guess there's not a lot of different. I think the packaging is the only difference, is that you'll see between the original edition and the slipcased one, which is here, how it's packaged basically. Maybe there's some extra features with the what do you call it, the original edition. This is, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I'm satisfied with what I see here, so I'm more than satisfied actually. Man, look at this. Part 2 is huge. This tells you the differences in quality and how much time and effort they put into when they upgraded to the Super Nintendo era, you could say. This is the NES era, the NES era. Look at this. This is like twice the size of the first one. Look at this. And it's even bigger than Part 3. That's very, very interesting. Maybe the reason why is because Amano was basically responsible for Final Fantasies 4 through 6 in terms of the artwork and the character design, and Part 3 is basically his take on the Nomura character designs. This is going to be interesting to see actually. I'd like to spend more time on this Part 3. But this is arguably, I think this is my favorite era basically. I did play 4 and 6. 4 I played late. I played the, what do you call it? The PSP remake of Final Fantasy 4. I had an absolute blast with it. And that was my first experience. Like, I think 1 or 2 years ago. I haven't played 4 up until this point. I was so surprised by how awesome this game is, man. I didn't expect it to move me, because it's one of the first Super Nintendo RPGs, so I didn't expect much of it, and it's just as good. It's as good as the recent Final Fantasy installments like 10, and it moved me emotionally, and the gameplay was fun. It was quirky, It had that Sagaguchi touch that you see in his games like Lost Odyssey. It has this quirkiness and seriousness in the same time. That I missed that in the Final Fantasy games, What is this? I don't know. This is the ship from Final Fantasy 4? I'm not sure. Yeah, Cecil. This is when he's Dark Knight Cecil, I guess. And this is a castle. It looks like a summon or Alexander or something from Final Fantasy 7. But I think it's a castle. I'm not really sure. Now this is the Light Cecil. Kane, his rival and friend, or Rosa, his lover. I think this is Sid. His name is Sid. Yeah, he's cool. He was funny. Yeah, Sid. Kane Highwind. I didn't know his last name was Highwind. It's very interesting how they changed things up here. Things up. Yang, Tella. What I like about Final Fantasy IV, the PSP remasters, you could play with the characters that that died for some reason or another during the story. That you could revive them and play as them. You're not stuck with certain characters toward the end. That's Palom apart. That's the twins and Raidya. Yeah, these are one of the characters who were deceased or turned into stone, if I recall correctly. Summoner here, very similar to Terra, except she has green hair and green. She's cool. Yeah, I do like his artwork. Actually, it's very cool. Edge. This is one of the bosses. Not really sure. Can't remember. But the really detailed. This is very nice. I like this design. I don't know which enemy is that actually. It's really hard to remember, even though I played it recently. This is recognizable. This enemy is recognizable. One of the. I don't know the name. Don't ask me about the name of this enemy, but recognizable, recurring throughout the series. Huge, man. Yeah. But Amano, yeah, he's the guy who was mostly responsible for Final Fantasy 4 through 6. So obviously, this is going to be his biggest one. Part 2. Dragon. And some of the legendary bosses, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he looks like what's his face? That squid from Final Fantasy 6. I always forget his name. But it's Final Fantasy 4. We still haven't gone to 6 yet. 6 is my favorite. Look at this. Yeah, I know this enemy. He's colored red, in I think in the Final Fantasy 4. But here it obviously has more detail in color. Looks like looks like Messenger or Grandizer or something. Interesting that there are robotic type enemies in this, in Final Fantasy 4 actually. Yeah, this enemy is also recognizable. The face, whatever his name is. Final Fantasy 5. This is one that I don't recognize as much. Unfortunately, I would love to play this someday, but the quality is getting higher and higher. I could see this is a really high quality. It has the backgrounds and everything. I love this. Very awesome. Yeah, I'm not gonna know anything here, so I'm gonna skip through fast a bit. Yeah. Nope. No, nothing. Where's 6? High Wind. Another High Wind. This is the first time I noticed this pattern in terms of the last names of certain Final Fantasy characters. I wonder if they're related. It would be interesting if there's like if somebody could put the Final Fantasy games into one timeline. I do know that 7 and 10 are interrelated in terms of timeline. This is like inside information. She looks like Terra, or she has the same clothes as Terra. What's her name? Kryl? Gilgamesh. Yeah, I know this. I recognize him. And there's Gogo. I didn't know that Gogo appeared in Final Fantasy V first. That's very interesting. Because there is a Gogo in Final Fantasy VI. And he is also a mimic. Quirky character. Very hidden as well in Final Fantasy VI, I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm learning new stuff here as we go. Lots of high winds. Come on, where's 6? 5 is huge, man. He has a lot of things done at 5. Okay, here we go. I think we got to 6 here. Yeah, that's the Magitek Armor. Love this. This is the logo, actually, of Final Fantasy 6. This is absolutely awesome. I love this. Look at this. Such detail. This guy's an artist indeed. The fantasy has continued. That's Terra. Look at the detail on the face. Awesome. Very awesome. It's Terra as well. Yeah, apparently Amano loves Terra too. Celise? That's Celise? Or is that Terra as well? With another... Yeah. Just different clothes, I think. Yeah. Locke. Yeah, Sabin. Yeah, and it looks really cool, Sabin. Very detailed. Didn't expect him to look like that. He looks like Guile. Yeah, he's kind of rugged. I can't remember in the game that he had even his artwork face during the menu. I don't think he had that ruggedness to him, and here he does, and it looks actually much cooler. Yeah, it looks like Guile. That's Edgar. That's his brother. I want to play Final Fantasy VI. Shadow, one of the coolest characters in the game, and his dog. I forgot the name of the dog. That's Shadow as well. Who was that? With a different costume. Setzer. It's the gambler and the commander of the ship. Is the ship called Highwind? No, Highwind fight. I think it's the Final Fantasy 7. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Celise. I don't think she was very completely red in the yellow in the game. She had like a yellow vest and white jacket or something when she was a commander. Realm. Yeah, I would love to play this game again. I need to. God, that's the half monster, half human, or the human raised in the Monster Valley. Tarzan. This is really nice. I like this. Very iconic. It reminds me of Red 13 from Final Fantasy 7 in Cosmo Canyon. Let's go as well. Cyan. Love Cyan. I could hum the themes all day, man. Strago. Can't remember much of Strago, but I do know he's the grandfather or father of Realm. I think he's the grandfather. And Shadow, in the twist, Shadow is the father, but the game doesn't tell you that unless you... I remember that you have to sleep in some sort of inns or sleep in certain inns. You get a backstory and you have to have Shadow and Realm in your party, something like that, I'm not sure. Mog. One thing I didn't know, that Mog actually appeared in the Mana games first, and then he transitioned to Final Fantasy. Very interesting tidbit here. Kafka, oh yeah, one of the coolest villains in the Final Fantasy series. That's a Cid here in this game, not a main character. One of the characters you could actually save or let die, depending on what you do. Bannon, again, not a main character. That's one of this bad guy. Ah, he looks really detailed here. Gastal, I can't pronounce the name exactly. Gastal, I think. Really detailed. What is that belt he's wearing? Go-Go. That's the Go-Go Final Fantasy 6 here. More detailed than his 5 counterpart. Transformed Terra, yeah. Turned into Captain Leo. He's one of the characters who dies. Wow, she looks menacing. That's scary. Look at that. Not as scary in the game, in-game. That's why it would be interesting if they do a 3D remake of this on the 3DS. I would buy that in an instant. Omaro, again, one of the side characters in the game. You could recruit him, but he's not really as important to the story. This is an enemy, I think. One of the enemies in the game. The mountain, maybe. Can't remember that well, you know. Yeah, these... I don't know. I think they're enemies. I can't remember. Yeah, that's the bomb enemy. Awesome stuff here. You're running a bit fast, Odin, I think. Because we want to get to book 3. We're taking too much time here. Now, these are like chibi versions of the characters. Yeah, it does have a light side of him, Amano. Funny. Very nice. Some log things here. Okay. TV, eh? Weird. On the other illustrations. Oh, this is all other miscellaneous. I didn't notice that before. Cool. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Part 3 is like his. I think this is gonna be his take on the recent Final Fantasy games until 10, if I'm not mistaken. It's a bit shorter than number 2, but number 2 is the main attraction, basically. Final Fantasy 7. Is that Cloud? Really? Very interesting. And who is with Cloud? This Aerith or Tifa? I'm not really sure. That's Red 13, maybe. I don't know. But it looks very interesting. Even the design of the Buster Sword is a bit weird. Kind of didn't expect that. Sephiroth. Yeah, it does have that Amano feel to it. Very interesting. It's the first time I see this. That's Red 13, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Red 13? Yeah. That's Vincent. Very interesting. Yeah, Sephiroth is... he does fit into the Amano theme, but Cloud looks very weird. I like him, but it's not like... It's sort of eerie, you know. I don't... maybe the spiked hair, the unspiked hair kind of puts me off. Now, is that Tifa? I think so. Well, she looks awesome. I can't tell what this is. It's a reactor. I'm not really sure. I can't really tell. Sort of very abstract in nature. That's Cloud, but he's walking away from the reactor. Michael? I'm not really sure. Okay, that was quick. Fine. So just Cloud and Tifa and Sephiroth, basically. Not a lot of... That's Final Fantasy VIII. We've gone into Final Fantasy VIII territory here. There's a Squall. Seifer, maybe? It's very interesting to see his take on these characters. Since, what's her name? I don't know if I forgot. I haven't played Final Fantasy VIII in a long time. That's Squall. That's Selfie, I think. Very nice. And then during the dance, it's an iconic scene. He's the guy who designed the logo. So this is part of the logo of Final Fantasy VIII because it's the theme of the game was love, and Squall and Ryona are hugging. I think this is the part of the logo, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the design of the gunblade here. Very nice. I like that. And here we're going to Final Fantasy IX. I'm not really sure. Somebody should correct me on this. Did Amano come back for Final Fantasy IX? Because this was the last game that had Sakaguchi working on as a director before he left Square. He did produce 10, in fact, but he left Square soon after. So this was his last game that had his touch. Not really sure whether or not Amano worked on the artwork here. Can't remember, can't recall. Don't remember much from Final Fantasy IX. This is a final boss. Zidane. This is very nice. Very like a watercolor feel to it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make myself make myself sound artsy, even though I'm not an art. Like I said, not a huge fan of artwork. But this is awesome. I had to get this. Zidane. Garnet. That's the main female lead. Vivi looks awesome. Wow, that's a lot of detail. I wish he had that detail in the game. Look at that. Love his take on this. Vivi was just like a basic black mage in the game. He gave him a bit of a personality. It would be cool if he actually looked like that. Steiner. His name is Steiner? Was it? Yeah. That's the knight. Yeah, Steiner. Freya. That's the half human, half I don't know. Armand, huh? Was he human? I don't think he was human, but he looks cool here. I don't think he was human in the game. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he was, yeah. He looked like a... That's the summoner. Queena. Oh, very nice. Again, more detailed from him. And his take is very interesting, like, gives him a really good quirky take. Queena is one of my favorite theme songs from Final Fantasy IX because it had that... It had this chiptunish feel to it. Kuja, that's the main villain. Nice. She looks cool. That's the mother of Garnet. Oh, there's a garland in the game, huh? Can't remember. Interesting. And there's the Dan take here. Different facial profiles. Very nice. Yeah, if there's this much detail, I'm assuming that he worked on the artwork, or at least responsible for some of the artwork of the game. Because it's more detailed than Final Fantasy 7 and 8. There's various profiles, various characters. Nice, this is very nice. Look at this. I love this, man. Steiner looks especially awesome. And we're getting to another interesting thing, Final Fantasy X. His take on Final Fantasy X, huh? Well, I could say that Squall looks a bit cooler than than Nomura's design. I don't want to offend Nomura or anything, but he does look really cool here. Considering Squall is one of the, whinier characters in the Final Fantasy series. Yuna. Very nice, that's the Guardian, forgot his name. Yeah, I haven't played 10 in a while. Very interesting choice of colors here as well. That's what's his name? That he has the worst hairstyle ever. Bonfire. Sin. Yeah, that's the main villain. Antagonist. Squall and Yuna have welcome home again. Yeah, bottom of the sea. Yeah, this is the logo for X2, if I'm not mistaken, or is it X? See, he does design the logos. I think it's, I don't know, X or X2. It looks kind of similar to one of them. Other Final Fantasy illustrations, 1970-2001. That's Claudia. Again, this is just like stenciled. Really interesting. Cloud. This is Arieth or Tifa. Maybe Arieth because she looks dead or something. Look up the sky. Ah, there must be a fantasy. Oh well. Well, that's over. And that was very interesting. An unboxing and a showcase of the sky. Final Fantasy. The art of Final Fantasy. And I think, like I said before, I think the basic difference is this is like more of a stripped down version. It has a slipcase. Maybe the original one wasn't slipcased, I think. Maybe it was... But the box is really sturdy. But it partly got a bit damaged to shipping, so you guys have to be careful here. But very cool thing to buy. It did cost like £60, if I'm not mistaken, for £40 when I got through Amazon. So if you're a fan, definitely look out for it for Amazon.com at August 6th. If you didn't pick up the original, you definitely have to pick up this because I think it's going to have a limited print run actually, like the previous one. A lot of people got really upset because the previous one was really limited. Like they didn't produce much of it, and a lot of people got upset because they pre-ordered it and their pre-orders were cancelled even though they pre-ordered really ahead of time. So definitely check this out if you skipped out or missed out on the original version, because I don't think nobody's gonna shell out $600 for something like that. It's a bit, yeah, it's a collector's item, but it's a bit too much in my opinion. But for $60, I think it's $60 on Amazon.com right now, $60-$70. It's well worth it, even if you're getting like a stripped down version of it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed and this unboxing and showcase, and see you guys with another video sooner than later. Peace out.